Freezing. Night, bitch. Welcome back to the Can I Bitch podcast. I'm your host, Ashley, and when you're watching this, or when this comes out, I should say, is March 26th, which is the 2-year anniversary since my dad passed away. And I just have one question to ask you. Can I bitch for a second, please? Because how has it been 2 years already since I last hugged my dad or heard him laugh or heard his voice? You may be wondering, Ashley, why are you dressed as a strawberry? As in the blanket's red, my sweater is red. And to that I say, this was my dad's crew neck. Very comfy. I'm also wearing my dad's watch. I'm also wearing the necklace that holds my dad's ashes. So he's here with me. This thing's gonna fall any minute. Watch it fall on my head. You have permission to laugh hysterically if that happens. If you're wondering why I have this poster board school project behind me, this is actually what I used for my dad's funeral memorial service. So I'm repurposing that right now because it's been in my closet ever since. I cannot believe how long it's been and how fast it's gone, but at the same time, it feels like it just happened yesterday. However, today, or at least this episode, is not about the sadness of the last 2 years. It's a celebration of the man himself. The first man I've ever loved, my daddy. And yes, I am 32 and will always call my mom my mommy and my dad my daddy. Like, I've been calling them that literally since I was fresh out the womb, and I'm not stopping now. Instead of a wine of the week, I wanted to share our drink of the week. So I was unable to obtain it here because they don't sell it in the South. However, if you are in New York, then I highly suggest you grab a Manhattan Special. That was my dad's favorite drink, his favorite treat. So I invite you all to grab one, pop it open, and let's get into it. I wanted to write an open letter to my dad because I want you all to know the man that I was lucky enough to call my dad. So I had the idea for this podcast episode actually because when I had posted a TikTok, I want to say it was 2 years ago when everything happened, I had made a TikTok video about my dad passing away, and someone had commented on that video and said, "Can you tell us about him? Like, what was he like?" And I was like, you know what? I would love to share that with the world because I want everyone to love him as much as I did. And I never got around to making that video. So I figured I will make this podcast. So first, I wanted to start from the beginning. The day we first met. The day I was born. My mom went to the hospital having labor pains. She thought that she was, ready to pop me out. She gets there and the hospital tells her, "Hey girl, not your time yet. Like, why don't you go take a walk around the hospital, like a walk around outside, take a lap, then come back to us." So she does. But then the pain started getting worse. So at that point, they were almost at the front door of the hospital when my dad spots a Frankfurter / hot dog cart. Okay. If it's, you're in New York when there's one on every single damn corner. Okay. So he's like eyeing it down. And while my mom is literally crying, like doubled over in pain, he turns around and yells, "Hey, babe, you want a Frankfurter?" So naturally, my mom turns around and goes, "Are you fucking crazy? You're worried over here about a Frankfurter and a fucking pain. I'm about to give birth." So finally, they get to the front door, and my mom yells, "Go find a nurse," as she's like on her knees in pain, and my dad's like stuffing a fucking hot dog in his mouth. I ended up coming 3 weeks early, and I was in the NICU for about a week. My mom was so distraught that she couldn't take me home with her, and she was feeling so guilty that I was at the hospital and she was home. However, my dad ended up staying with me every night, and my mom would stay with me every day. So, like, they would switch on and off. Two things remained constant, which was my daddy's love for me and his equal, if not deeper, love for food. I mean, if you know Joe Mag, then you know that me and him and Outback are like this, okay? Porterhouse steak, kookaburra wings, done. Every Father's Day, every birthday, that was mine and my dad's place. Oh my God, now I want to go to Outback. You know what? That's happening tomorrow. I have so many core memories of my daddy, and honestly, my childhood was amazing because of my parents, and we were always called the Three Musketeers because, for anyone that doesn't know, I'm an only child. So it was me and my parents, and we were the best of friends. No matter what, I never went a single day wondering if I was loved. Like, my mommy and daddy always made sure to make me feel like I was important and special and loved, and that nothing could take that love away from them. I have so many core memories of my daddy, one of them being that he was the only man in a sea of PTA moms. He was the definition of the Star PTA Dad. Always showing up to every meeting, parent-teacher conference, talent show, science fair, soccer game, and track meet. I mean, even outside of school, he was there for every single dance recital. Always right up front with his camcorder, making sure that I knew that he was my number one biggest fan. But all of the moms always loved seeing my dad show up to these things. I mean, I could just picture it now, him in his New Balances and his fanny pack, cheering on his little girl. If there was an event that I was involved in, there Joe was, proud as hell. He always got joy out of being involved in my life, involved in my friends' lives and our community. He would be the one up at 10 p.m. with me at the kitchen table with the singular light on, doing math homework. Every time he had to repeat the homework question, each time he kept on getting more agitated. Like, you could just tell, because each time he had to repeat it, he would just keep getting louder. Okay, if Timmy has 12 apples and gives 8 away, then how many apples does Timmy have left? Then I would also like get distracted and like pick up my cat and doodle on my notebook, and then he'd be like, "Ash, yoo-hoo, focus. If Timmy had 12 apples and gave away 8, how many does he have left?" One more time. If Timmy had. Like, it was so funny. Poor Joe for having to deal with that, because if there was one thing that I was not keen at, it was math. Like, literally went to summer school for that awful subject. Half the time when we were doing homework, I was like putting my head down on the table and like falling asleep while he's straight up like trying to figure out what the question was saying. However, if there was a night that I was up late, not doing homework, it was me and my dad watching, I think it was the Yankees in the World Series. And for that night, I was up late because I was getting to watch baseball with my dad. So we were on the couch, and I don't know if anyone remembers cheese nibs. They were like Cheez-Its, but like dollar store level, like zero quality whatsoever. Anyways, like I ate my weight in cheese nibs, and to the point where I went to bed and my daddy came in to say goodnight to me, and he kissed me goodnight and was making sure that I was okay. And I was like, Daddy, I don't feel so good. And this was right after either my mom or my dad just gave me Pepto-Bismol because I said that my stomach was hurting. And then all of a sudden, I just like projectile vomit, cheese nib, throw up all over him. Oh, seriously, poor guy. But anyways, my friends loved my dad, and my dad loved my friends. Like, each one of them was another one of his kids. He would treat all of them like they were just another daughter to him. One thing about my household, no one ever went hungry. Like, if it's not my mom shoving meatballs and pasta down your throat, it was my dad saying, no, come over, come for dinner. If you want to stay over, stay over. Or especially if we were going out to dinner, everyone was invited. No matter what, he always made my friends feel included. He'd pay for anyone to come with us to Splish Splash, to Fun for All, to Sports Plus, like even to Disney. Like, I remember for my 16th birthday, my dad took me and my two friends to Disney World, and Disney World was our happy place. Like, me, my mom, and my dad would literally go to Disney World at least once a year, every year. I would say that definitely influenced my obsession for Disney that I still have to this day. In fact, it's only gotten worse. But no one was ever left out. He always offered to pick my friends up or drop them back off at home, or if he needed to coordinate with the parents. Like, he was just always so involved and always made it a point to make my friends feel as welcome and safe and happy. The best memories I have growing up are the pool parties and birthday parties that my parents would throw, and all of my dad's friends from out in the city, from work, would come to Long Island. They would bring like these huge buckets full of Italian ices. He would hire a petting zoo to set up in our backyard, and they would bring ponies, and then we would have pony rides around my backyard. That was literally the best memory ever. I still have those moments on like home videos and stuff, and watching them, it's like, man, I really wish I could relive that, because that was like peak. But the ponies, that was the talk of the town, okay? Not for nothing, not, tooting my own horn, but the pony rides around my parties, just saying, my friends liked them a lot. So in our backyard, he would set up the net so that we could play badminton. And if anyone has been to one of my birthday parties or summer parties, you know that badminton as well as pool volleyball / keep it up was like a battle to the death. Okay. Like, we don't fuck around. Badminton, if you're slacking, get out. This is only for professionals. And by professionals, I mean 7-year-olds and my dad. At around like 9 p.m., my dad would turn on the lights in the little like bistro lights in the backyard, and he would take us night swimming. And those were some of the best and memorable conversations and time together, like with me and him and my friends. It was just so fun. And then him and my mom would set up my living room pull-out couch for me and my friends to have like a big sleepover slumber party. And it was so fun. Like when I tell you those are core memories, I mean it. Like I always think about those days. Every detail about those parties was just like iconic 90s and 2000s summer music, like Shania Twain. Man, I feel like a woman. Bow, 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 bow. That was like top five. Also Britney Spears, obviously. The music was iconic. It was just good vibes and obviously delicious food. My daddy always made sure to make my birthday feel like the event of the year. Not to mention, like, one thing about Joe is that he was a grill master 1 minute, and then the next minute he would be running and jumping and doing like a record-breaking cannonball. Like he was equally like responsible and parental, and then the next minute he's like one of the kids. Another one of the core memories I have with him are when he would take me to his job in the city, when they would host a bring your daughter to work day every year. Although I hated getting up at 4 a.m. to commute into the city, I absolutely loved our drives into the city. He'd pick up the guys in his carpool. We'd start jamming out to Neil Diamond and Phil Collins. And then we would stop at 7-Eleven so that the guys could get their morning coffee. And I'd pick out my road trip snacks while my dad plays his daily lotto, which was my birthday. He played my birthday in the lotto literally every single day of his life. It was always, always, always my birthday number. And if it ever did hit, we would always split the winnings, and it was never more than like $50. So, but you know, better than nothing. It was always so fun going into work with my dad. There's a certain point on the LIE where you start to see the tall city buildings and the New York City skyline. Every single time we creep up on it, we'd say, look, we're almost there. Which, by the way, things were so different prior to 9/11. Like the city skyline was beautiful and the city felt so safe and it was gorgeous and literally breathtaking. So my dad worked at the New York Mercantile Exchange. So that's where they trade commodities like gold, silver, copper. I believe they traded oil as well. If you've seen Wolf of Wall Street, where you see men with like corded phones where the cord is like wrapping around like 6 different points of the office and the guys are just yelling and they're balling up pink slips and throwing them at each other's heads and stuff. That is what the trading floor was like. It was so surreal. It was so cool being there. Like you would walk into the exchange in the morning and it would be so quiet. Like you can hear a pin drop in there. And then the second that the bell rings, it is absolute mayhem and chaos. Men are just yelling back and forth, doing hand signals. For bring your daughter to work day, you would get your own badge and it would say your name and then it would say like what trading ring you work in. So like if you worked in the gold ring, then you would sell and trade gold. If you worked in the silver ring, you would sell and trade silver. So they would give us a tour of the building and you would see the pits or the trading ring. That's where the trading brokers would negotiate prices on gold, silver, and all commodity futures. They would teach all of us kids the different hand signals, and they would teach us how to read the spreadsheets that they put together. I would even help my dad with the spreadsheets at night after he came home from work, because not for nothing, but I type a lot faster than he did, so I always got them done super quick. And my dad's was always the one key at a time type guy, but I was just killing it. I actually met a few of my childhood best friends at the Bring Your Daughter to Work Day, and they would have all different activities for us to do, and they would treat us to lunch, and it was just so fun. It was so different back then. Although, like most people, my dad wasn't perfect. He possessed some traits that I hope to bring into my own life. The first is my dad's loyalty and ability to be an amazing friend. Like, this man would give his shirt off his back for anyone. If one of his friends were in need, he would automatically drop everything that he's doing and go help them. If they needed a ride to the airport or from the airport, if they need to be picked up, if they were dropping their car off from getting work done, he was there. Or if you needed help moving, like you name it, and he was there in minutes. Next is my dad's generosity. He has always cared about people. He actually worked in a homeless shelter where he provided aid and resources to people, especially teenagers battling addiction. And he would coordinate shelters for young mothers in like abusive situations. He volunteered for soup kitchens. He served at our church, and he was one of the Knights of Columbus. One thing about my dad is that he never expected anything in return. Like, he was just always doing things out of the goodness of his heart, especially for his friends. He did anything and everything to make people laugh, and he succeeded most of the time, especially because his laugh alone is contagious. Lastly, he had such a big heart, which made him forgive easily. Like, when I tell you that this man didn't know the word grudge, I'm not kidding. And I think I honestly get that trait from him, because I cannot hold a grudge to save my life. My dad taught me so many things in life, but he taught me that when you get married, it is extremely important to still do cute gestures for each other. Like, him and my mom would like hide little love notes for each other and like surprise each other with like little things that reminded them of each other. Keep on going on dates and spending time with each other, like just you two, no matter how many years you've been married. He also taught me to never go to bed angry. Whatever you're mad about, talk it out, hug it out, and then go to bed. Like, never let each other go to bed angry, because you never know. And this life is clearly scary and it's short. Regarding careers, he was always dedicated to work. He taught me that even if you're working at McDonald's, which I was, you still need to dress for success. So growing up, my dad would get up every morning and iron his pants and iron his collared shirt and make sure that everything was properly pressed and make sure that he was always showered and smelled nice. Like, he always made himself look presentable, professional. And when I worked at McDonald's, he was like, make sure you press your uniform, make sure you iron your uniform. Is it clean? If not, go get a clean one and we'll iron that. Like, he always drilled it into my head, like, show up, look presentable, look like you are there, like you're confident and you are ready to take on the day. He taught me to give it your all no matter what job you have, whether it's a little job like McDonald's or say you're the CEO of a company. Give it your all. Find something that you're passionate about and put everything into it. Put all of your blood, sweat, and tears into it. It's so crazy how I can literally hear it in my head, him saying, "Hello, Ashley Marie." Like, I can hear it, but I haven't heard it in too long. I listen to all of his voicemails still, and especially when I just need a reminder of what his voice sounds like or how he says my name. Like, he says the full thing every single time. And he's like, "Oh, it's Daddy," as if I don't know who's calling. So, in this open letter to my dad, I just wanted to tell him, "Daddy, even though you're gone, your vibrant, witty, hilarious spirit lives on in all of the memories that we have together. Thank you for always being proud of me and always bragging on me to anyone that came up to you and asked me how I'm doing." Like, I would literally hear stories from my friends or from their parents being like, "Oh, my dad told me that you're going to college. That's amazing. He told me that you're going for this, and wow, that's awesome." And to anyone he didn't know, like even like random people on the street, he would open up his wallet and show them a picture of me and be like, "Look, this is my daughter, Ashley." And he was just always so proud of me. And I miss him so much. To my daddy, I miss your laugh. I miss your smile. I miss your depression curing hugs that I would just drive to wherever he was and be like, "Daddy, I need a hug." And he'd give me a hug and I would feel better. I miss having that. I miss us being the three musketeers, and I miss going to Outback together. Or my dad used to play football, and there was one time that he was playing football in Connecticut. So me and him took a ferry, and I went, and I was like one of the few people in the bleachers, and I watched him play football. Football was another love of his life. He loved football, and he played it for years. I think he played it in high school and college, and then he ended up getting hurt to where he couldn't play. But then he ended up getting into like an adult league or something, and I still can smell the, I can't remember what it's called, but it was similar to an icy hot, but he would put it underneath like this cloth wrap stuff for his shins or something, and there would be like a straight piece. I don't know if it was like a football version of like a shin guard. I'm not really sure what it was, but if I had a tub of that in front of my nose, I would be able to sniff it out automatically, no question. But I always loved just spending our time together, either through that or we would go to Yankee games. We would always go to Carvel. My daddy taught me how to drive. So, Daddy, thank you for teaching me the element of road rage. That I definitely got from you, and that definitely lives on hella strong for now and forever. That is one thing that will never leave. For anyone listening that knew my dad, if you can please leave a comment about any sort of experience that you've had with him. It would just be really nice to hear any of your stories being in the presence of Joe and, being in our household and everything. Also, comment down below if you have also lost a loved one. I'm with you. I feel you. I see you. I wanted to make this episode about the positivity and about the light and about his positive impact on the world, or at least my world. So for anyone listening, please go call your mom, call your dad, tell them how much you love them. If any or both are still here, hug them extra tight because I can't hug my dad anymore. Also, fuck cancer. Fuck cancer. If anyone has experienced this, please let me know in the comments. I appreciate you watching another episode of the Can I Bitch podcast. I know that this one was it was a positive kind of heavy, sort of. But I appreciate you being here. Thank you for everyone that listens every week. I will see you next week. Let's bitch again soon. Toodles noodles. I love you, Daddy. Always, always and forever. You are the brightest star in the sky.